दिख रहा है? क्या दिख रहा है? सर एक सामने सेंटर अभी भी सेंटर सर इधर दिस सेंटर दिस साइड सर चलो अंदर भागो वाओ ग्रेट
एंजिनियर जूनियर सर
मास्क लगा लो पकड़ा जाऊंगा
रामचरण सर आलिया भट्ट and Mr. Sanjeev Kumar Bijli. Come on everyone, can we make some noise? Perfect. So ladies and gentlemen, finally the wait is over. और सबसे पहले तो मैं आप इन सभी के सामने आप लोगों के यहाँ पर आप लोगों की पेशेंस के लिए आप लोगों के सब्र के लिए धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा. थैंक यू सो मच. मैं चाहूंगा एक बारी सभी जितने मीडिया के लोग हैं हमारे प्यारे एक बारी अपने लिए और हमारे पूरे साकस की जोरदार तालियां. थैंक यू एंड वेलकम टू द पीवीआर सिनेमास. लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, आज जैसा कि हम सब जानते हैं कि पीवीआर सिनेमास जो है वो हो चुका है. जैसे एक एनएफसी यहाँ पर आप लोग आगे लॉन्च करने वाले. वी वेलकम देम ऑन द स्टेज. आप लोग के साथ कैमरास भी हाथ में बट परफेक्ट.
बीच में
सो वी हैव
आज ये साथ आज एक जगह लो. पीछे वो आ रहा है वो के लिए.
ऑलराइट परफेक्ट. वी हैव चालू जी है प्रतिमा प्रिया फ्रॉम पीवीआर एंड दे आर गोइंग टू रिप्रेजेंट. मैं दोनों टीम्स को कंग्रेचुलेट करना चाहूंगा. बोथ द टीम्स आरआरआर टीम एंड पीवीआर टीम जोरदार तालियों के साथ. लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, फर्स्ट एवर एनएफसी. Wow, what a moment. And with this, one more time. Okay, so we have this media opportunity for everybody here. Full opportunity. Our team and we request everyone to please take their seats now. Ladies and gentlemen, इसी के साथ आप लोगों का ज़्यादा समय ना लेते हुए मैं ये माइक देना चाहूँगा pioneer of Indian cinema.
Double more than that. Thank you so much.
All right, can we have a round of applause, everybody? So congratulating the entire team again, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, India's most legendary director here with us. Sir, thank you so much, and I think.
Good evening, everyone. I think before we start, we are so happy, so happy to associate with PVR. We make great films, but we, as a film director, as a filmmaker, we want the audience to experience the film the way we made it, in a particular way. So PVR.
It's a time waste. So this is good, of course, very much different to you. So I really want to know what is your experience working with such great stars and especially Rajamouli sir.
I was shocked when you paused. This is your first film. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yes, I think you can say this is my first South language film. Well, the experience, honestly, for me, I was pinching myself when I learned.
Okay, thank you so much. All the best for the film.
All right. Yes, you're audible. Start with the name.
So you have already shared your experience, your memory. So what is the most challenging moment while shooting RRR?
Luckily, they have been very good boys, so they behaved very well. And she asked me a question and I'm answering it. I don't know. Okay. You didn't do anything. I gave you a certificate telling you are good boys, okay? Okay, and my most challenging moment, I was continuously telling...
Same for three of you?
well, no.
About how I had to control these two.
Challenging moment.
No, the most challenging moment. For me, it was learning Telugu.
All right, it takes a lot.
One question only, they are all answering.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to make Tarak answer on my behalf as well.
Because each and every day of our shoot we were together, so pretty much our experiences have been the same. And
well, I should say that there were many moments in Triple R which were challenging, physically, and we shot for this crazy action sequences there was this action sequence we shot for 65 nights, and but I think even Charan will agree, he's him. Satisfied him, because he's one of those directors who will not. I think he's the only director, at least I would believe that there are a few directors who would say, 99.9 is also fine, I take everything. But he's like, no, I want my 100, you give me my 100, and then you move out of the camera. So that was the most challenging thing for us. Right? Yes, Charan?
Absolutely. Yeah. Next question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm from the Times of India team. First, my question is to Mr. Sanjeev sir. Firstly, congratulations on the PVR and RRR association. My question is in two parts. Firstly,
2 posters and 3 or 4 memorabilia from the production house, and duplicated them. We'll have about 300 NFTs. We're not selling them. These are all part of a contest. We're going to be doing a massive contest. The contest date ends, I think, end of March, and the winners will be announced.
For everyone in this room, congratulations, ALIA, on a phenomenal performance in Gangubai. I think we can't stop praising you enough. But having said that, we all know that both Bhansali sir's world of cinema and Rajamouli sir's world of cinema has a magnanimity to it. And especially an artist, we have heard it in the past from Ranveer, Deepika, Priyanka, that how involved you are in your characters when it comes to such huge films and what kind of impact it leaves per se. So I need to understand here as an actor, what's your process of moving in and out of characters, and how difficult has it been for you perhaps to dwell into such characters?
I don't have a process, and I like my process to change with every film and with every filmmaker that I'm working with, because I, at the end of the day, believe that we are just the clay. That the filmmaker creates the structure and the film, and we just have to mold into the filmmaker's hands. So I prefer to just go and whatever the filmmaker wants, whatever the process, whether the filmmaker wants me to sit at home for 3 months and learn my lines, okay. Come on set without learning my lines, okay. Go on some camp and do some research, okay. Whatever the filmmaker wants. So that's my process, and yes, every character has something that I take away from. From Sita's character, I took away a silent strength, a strength that doesn't need to be spoken about or talked about. It's a silent strength which is delicate, which is simple, but it's strength.
That's beautiful. Also, having said that, before I pass on this mic, anything that you've learned in Telugu, if you could just say it for us, we really need to hear that. Any one thing.
Meeku na muddulu.
Thank you. Thank you, Benny.
Hi.
We have the next question.
Hi, I'm Durga from INS. This question is for all 4 of you. Rajamouli sir, you really opened the floodgates for pan-India films. And a lot of movies followed suit. We have a lot of pan-India films being made now. All 4 of you, how do you see pan-India films changing the game for Indian cinema?
Frankly, I'm not a visionary. I don't have such understanding about how everything works out. For me, it is all about my film and what I can do to make my film reach maximum number of audiences. So over the course of my career, I learned that the more stronger the emotions, more basic the emotions, more people tend to like your movie. So that's what I learned, and that's what I've been doing. And Bahubali just was liked by the entire country. And I think people realize that if they follow the same thing, if they base their story on basic emotions, basic human emotions, they will have a wider reach.
He he doesn't start something thinking it should be loved by each and everyone, but it magically somehow in the end becomes that. And the first movie was Bahubali. And all of us are very glad to be part of this because the floodgates, as you said, has been open to all actors to experience the other Indian directors and other Indian directors from different states to experience us. So there's a huge boundaries that have been erased, and we are very fortunate to be in this era of experiencing other directors and they experiencing us.
So I remember on the first day I was shooting with Tara, and I was on the floor, okay, as per the scene. And Tara had to bend down and pick me up or something like that. He couldn't bend down because his legs were so sore. Because he had done a heavy leg workout, you remember this? And so that's why, I mean, my reason to narrate this story is I could tell without them saying how hard these guys have worked on their body. Like he couldn't even bend down, like his legs were so sore. And then we all had a good laugh about it, and then he went down because he had to go.
So, is there like any particular physical routine that you followed, or like an exercise or something?
See, I think, being fit is a very number one priority for an actor today, right? So yes, for Triple R, we really, there were proper, Rajamouli as a director wanted us to look in a particular way. How he imagined us to be, his characters wanted to be. So it was challenging, but again, as I said, being fit is the number one priority for an actor today, in today's world. So we didn't go through this special care in COVID times, and when COVID was happening, everyone needed to be fit also. So it was going on. It was like a routine till Triple R was happening, because we had to look in a particular way. So yeah.
Yes, please. Next question.
Sir, yes, sir.
Hi, RRR team. Very warm welcome to Delhi. So just before you came, first of all, my name is Ayushi. I'm from News. Sorry about that. So हम जब ट्रेलर देख रहे थे, so we saw a very small glimpse of ALIA in the trailer. So maybe because my cinematic knowledge is not so much clear, so I just want ALIA to make it clear what kind of role you are playing in the film.
Okay. Like we have been telling from the beginning, ALIA comes as an important character. It's not a full character; it's a cameo. But the character is so important. It's so important because in the film we have two heroes who are like superpowers, who are like fire and water, out to destroy each other if things don't go well. And in between we wanted a soft, fragile looking girl, but who has enough inner strength to control these forces or lead these forces in the proper way. So that's why I wanted ALIA to do it. So if you're talking about the length of the character, it is less. But if you're talking about the importance of the character, it is very high.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So this is sir. Sir, he's playing a tribal leader role, sir. Have you ever went to those tribals and spoke to them? About their culture?
No, we didn't need to actually go into a tribal village to meet the tribals to actually get into this role. As Rajamouli always said, that it's just the character he's taken, but everything around the character is fictional. So for us it was his inputs as a director, what he wanted us to be and how he wanted us to fit into his character of Kamalapur. So we really didn't need to actually get into all those workshops. We just had a day or two days of workshop. That's it. He just explained the characters and this is what we want. I want that.
Hi. Hello.
Namaskar.
नॉन फिक्शन सब्जेक्ट पर एक ऐसी फिल्म बनाएंगे जो देशभक्ति से रिलेटेड हो?
There are so many things, whether I want to make a small budget film, whether I want to make a realistic film, whether I want to make a patriotic film. There are so many questions in there. What I want to make is what I always want to make is an emotional film. I want my audiences to connect to my film very emotionally. I want my audiences to feel for the characters, to empathize with the characters, feel all the emotions the characters in the film they are feeling. So each director has a way of narrating the stories. I have a certain way of narrating my stories, but I don't set on trying to think, okay, now let's make a small budget movie. Okay, let's make a realistic movie. That's not how I think. I just go in search of an emotional story. If it's a big story, it will be a big story. If it's a small story, it will be a small story.
Last question.
Hi, it was a conscious decision to put mythological element in your films?
It's a very subconscious decision because I grew up from my childhood listening to the stories of mythology, either from my grandparents and parents or through Amar. It is completely imbibed in my blood, the stories. So whatever goes in comes out. So because I have so much of input of the mythologies, they tend to come out in my stories in different forms. And I feel very proud of it.
फोटोशूट करते हैं।
Yes.
सवाल मेरा बस मैं आपका और आपकी टीम का अभिनंदन करता हूँ इस बात को लेकर के कि चाहे बाहुबली रही हो फिल्म आपकी और चाहे RRR रही है, आपने भारत के गौरव को दिखाया है, चाहे वो सनातन धर्म का रहा हो, चाहे वो हमारे बैरियर्स का रहा हो। मैंने भी आपकी फिल्म का ट्रेलर देखा, गाने देखे, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा और मैं इसीलिए आपकी टीम का अभिनंदन करता हूँ कि आप हमारे उन इतिहास को दिखा रहे हैं जो हमारे बच्चों को, हमारी नई पीढ़ी को सीखना है। तो मैं ये आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा कि ये जो दो चरित्र आपने उठाए हैं, अल्लूरी सीताराम राजू, कोमाराम भीम, तो उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा आप हमारे दर्शकों को बताएं।
Okay, my Hindi is not so good, but I try to answer the question in the way I understood. Generally, from my childhood, whenever we learned the stories of ancient India, how they were portrayed, how world perceived India, was like it's a dusty place, it's a country of poorness, it is a country of sick people. No, it used to make me feel very, very bad about it. The British newsreels, if you take the archives, no, it always showed India as a third world country and those kind of things. Of course, a part of it was true, but at the same time, I was taught from my childhood, India has a rich history, India has a rich culture. And just plain richness. India had so much of richness. And if you read other historians, if you take, I forgot the name of the Dutch explorer who came to South India, and he wrote the annals of Vijayanagara Samarajya in South, ruled by Krishna Deva Raya. In that he writes, he went into the house and historicals written by the British. That is not what I wanted. That is not how I imagine my freedom fighters to be. That's the reason I took a completely fictional account of their lives, Allur Sitaram Raju and Komaram Bhim. There is a time in history where we don't know what happened to them. During 1920s, they went away from their homes, from their respective places. After 3-4 years, they came back to their respective places and started fighting. They were. So, there is an element of patriotism that runs in the story. There is an element of freedom struggle that runs in the story. But the main line of the story is friendship between these two legendary fighters.
Thank you. I request everyone to please come forward for the perfect. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I request the entire staff cast to please come forward for the group photo opportunity. The entire media, this is group photo opportunity for everybody.
So center में center.
So thank you so much. Everyone, requesting everybody to please settle down. Thank you, Rajamouli sir. Thank you very much for joining us here. Thank you, Sanjeev sir. Thank you, ALIA. Thank you, India sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ramcharan sir, for joining us here.